I am so happy to be here in front of such a wild TEDx crowd. Thank you very much. Legend has it that famous magician Harry Houdini, on his deathbed, looked at his doctor and said, "You know, Doc, I always wished I could be a doctor like you, because you actually do things for people, whereas I, in almost every respect, am a fraud." I can relate to that, and I bet everyone here can relate to it as well. After all, this is a TED crowd, so super nerdy, right? Means just about everybody in this room is some kind of an overachiever, right? I can tell that you are, for example, definitely, because, it's a nice shirt. You're overachieving already, and you, miss, we met before we came in here, I remember. Bunch of overachievers here in this room, which means that just about everybody in this room feels like they don't belong in the room, right? I think Houdini probably felt the same way, despite appearances, because he knew that his grand reputation was really built upon a grand illusion. And yet, despite his disdain for fakes and frauds, Houdini was the world's greatest hype man. I think that he is the most celebritized name in all of modern history. Now listen to what I'm saying. The dude's been dead since 1926. And if I were to say to you right now, wow, you really pulled a Houdini there, you know exactly what I mean. I mean that you got yourself out of some tough spot, or you faked your way through something, which is kind of fun because faking your way through something is the topic of today's discussion, and it also happens to be what I'm doing right now. See, Houdini knew what his audiences maybe didn't know, which is that there were many magicians in his own time who were not as rich as he was, and definitely not as famous, but who were nonetheless far more skilled than he could ever hope to be. And he also knew that his most iconic trick, escaping from a straitjacket, was also his most ironic trick, because if you think about it, escaping from a straitjacket isn't even a magic trick at all. It's more of a stunt, if anything. Faking your way through something is extremely difficult. It's not easy to do. And when you have convinced yourself that skill is the same thing as success, in a world where appearances seem to matter so much more than reality, it's very easy to rob yourself of your joy when you should be taking a victory lap. And Houdini's insecurities were on full display in ways not terribly subtle. Let me give you an example. His real name was Eric Weiss, but he chose the stage name Houdini because he named himself after a 19th century magician named Robert Houdin. Looks like Robert Houdin if you say it in American, right? Robert Houdin. He named himself after the guy because he idolized him as a child. But then here's the thing. Houdini grew up, and as a middle-aged man, he wrote a book-length takedown, an expose of Robert Houdin, accusing his childhood hero of being a fraud. Now, two things about that. Number one, it's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black, because if you think about it, all magicians are frauds in some respect, right? But here's the most interesting part for me. Harry Houdini idolized Robert Houdin, modeled himself after Robert Houdin, named himself after Robert Houdin, felt like a fraud, then grew up and accused Robert Houdin of being a fraud. Now, is that a perfect example of Freudian projection? I'm going to leave it to the armchair experts, maybe another TED speaker, to decide. The point is this. Look, you might not be a famous magician, but you probably have just as many private reasons to feel like a fraud as Harry Houdini ever did. You might think that it's only a matter of time before everyone realizes that you're not as competent as you appear to be, and that you've just been bluffing your way through. You might have been told that you should fake it until you make it. Well, maybe you're starting to wonder when you can finally stop faking it. Well, I have some bad news and I have some good news. Are you ready for the bad news? That was a lot of excitement. The bad news is this: you can never stop faking it. You're doomed to always feel like you're faking it. The good news is this: if you fake it well enough, you're already kind of making it. It's too bad Harry Houdini didn't realize this. You'd think that he would, considering his profession, but you're just going to have to take it from me, because I'm in the same profession that he was. I don't want to give away too much here because I don't want the magic mafia to come after me, but I can tell you this much. I too am a professional fake. I confess it. And I too suffer from imposter syndrome. I mean, I think that we all do. My name is Nicholas Gentry. They call me the intellectual's illusionist. And I want you to notice that there's an apostrophe S at the end of the word intellectuals there. That makes it possessive. That means that you folks are the intellectuals, and I'm just the guy who's lucky enough to be entertaining you. So if you ever wondered what a person does with a degree in philosophy, now you have your answer. Thank you very much. Nice to meet you. I earned the title or the nickname, the intellectual's illusionist, because I used to be a college professor at places like Carnegie Mellon University, the University of Pittsburgh, Temple University, a few other places. These days I read minds, I predict the future, I bend cutlery with psychic power, which makes just about as much career sense as being a philosophy professor ever did. And I also have been a Peace Corps volunteer in Ghana. I was an English teacher in Japan. I was a spokesperson for the American Red Cross of Alaska. I've done a lot of stuff, and let's face it, folks, if you had a backstory that sounded even half as pretentious as mine does, you might have imposter complex as well. I mean, look at this. You see this logo? That's ridiculous. That's narcissism on a grand scale. And yes, I do suffer from imposter syndrome. It's my job to be kind of like confident in public. But do I always feel that way? Absolutely not. It's all just an act, even up to and including this very moment. Now, as a lover of philosophy and an illusionist, I try to imbue every performance I give with some kind of philosophical meaning, usually borrowed from the history of philosophy. I also tell more than my fair share of corny jokes, as is the right, and let's face it, the obligation of every card-carrying magician. And as your resident professional fake, I think that I am in a good position to say this. If you feel like a fake, that is actually the best possible signal that you are doing something right. It means that you are well outside of your comfort zone and challenging yourself. I'm not saying that you should fake it until you make it. Please do not misunderstand me. What I'm saying is that faking it is making it. There is a blurry line between those two things. There is no real dividing line, especially in my profession, but even in yours, I promise you, there's no fine dividing line. And frankly, in most cases, most people can't tell the difference anyways. I wrote a poem about it. Would you like to hear it? Of course you would. You have no choice. You're here. I wrote a poem about it, which I pulled directly out of my butt, just like I do everything else. It goes like this. A wizard there was whose magic was real. The problem he had was that no one could feel the difference between mere tricks and the truth in a world where miracles come without proof. No proof that the hand was empty to start. No proof that his magic was not merely art. The people cared not that his magic was real. that the coins really vanished, he really bent steel. 'Tis a sleight, they said, a mere trick of the eye. That hat is too big, that table is too high. The magic was real, but the wizard was poor, because though he had powers, his show was a bore. The wizard soon knew what's always been true, that nobody cares what you really do. They'll only reward you for what they believe, and they'll only punish for what they perceive. So be you a wizard or a regular guy, or a lady who flies big jets in the sky, whether workaday worker or seeker of fame, listen now, it's mostly perception that wins the big game. Now, what are you gonna do when imposter complex comes for you? I have a few recommendations, but limited time, so I'm gonna give you just one. It's a mantra that I like to repeat to myself. It goes like this, and I want you to repeat it after me once you hear it the first time. The invite means I'm all right. On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3. The invite means I'm all right. One more time. The invite means I'm all right. What are we talking about? What I'm saying is nobody invites you to things like pilot training or medical school or a TEDx stage unless somebody thinks you have what it takes to make it, right? So just see yourself through the eyes of whoever it was who was crazy enough or dumb enough to put you in that position. And I don't mean that you should fake it until you make it. What I mean is that there's never a time when you're not faking it anyways. So just fake it, make it by faking it. Can I demonstrate what I mean in practical terms? Would that be okay? It better be, because you're all stuck here anyways. I've got a paper ball. I'm going to throw it out into the audience. The first few rows are empty, so I think I'm going to have to go over here. And it's got to be down to one of you for sure, because there aren't that many people over here. I'm going to throw this paper ball over my shoulder, and whoever catches it now, it's yours. Now let me make this very clear. If it lands nearest you, whose is it? That would be yours. That's right. And if it lands in your eyeball, miss, you must pluck it from your face and then bring it up here. Okay? Everyone understand? All right, here we go. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. That's a bit of, but someone's going to have to get it. I think it's going to have to be you, miss, just by default, because it's in your row. Give her a hand as she retrieves that paper ball and makes her way on up to the TEDx stage at Jefferson University. What? How are you doing? She says she's good. How are you? You don't have a microphone, so I'm going to have to speak for you. Come on, come. Stand at the red dot. What's your name? Rihanna. Her name is Rihanna, everybody. A big hand for Rihanna. Rihanna, so you're the ambassador of the audience right now, so it's just a quick getting to know you moment. What's your credit card number? Okay, should I ask a more innocent question? She said, sure. How about, I don't know, how about what's your favorite color? Most people say red. What's yours? Blue. Well, that's very interesting, Rihanna. Open up that piece of paper that you caught before you came up here. And while you do that, if you take a long time, I'm going to have to get into all of my dad jokes, and we don't want that, do we? What's it say? Hold it up high. It says blue. She said blue. It says blue. You can clap there. That's actually part of the thing. Right there. You guys act like you see people get their minds read every single day. What, are you married? That must be it. They're married. They're used to mind reading. Anyways, Rihanna, I'd like you to imagine a deck of 52 playing cards. Can you see them right here in your mind's eye? No, I don't think you really can. You're not even looking at them. You see them right here in your mind's eye? Yes. All right. I want you to reach out and pluck out one of those 52 playing cards. Go ahead. We all want to see you do it. That's good. She's holding one of those cards. Hold it here. Hold it here. Now, I can see it. You can see it, but they can't. So I want you to remember what it is, and I'm going to remember what it is, okay? Here, let me see that for a second. I'm going to write something on the back. And I'm going to give it back to you. Put it back inside of the deck. That's perfect. And now put the deck in the box. Good. Now, by the way, can I ask you a question? The box, it's either red or blue, because all cards generally, they're either red box or blue box. Which one is yours, red or blue? It's red. Oh, that's good. That's correct. She's doing great so far, everybody. This is really good. We didn't prearrange this or anything, did we? Okay, but your voice sounded so different over the phone. All right. Rihanna, I'm going to pick up this bag here. You stand right here at the edge of the dot, and I got this empty bag here. On the count of 3, I want you to throw that deck of cards up in a nice long arc, and I'm going to catch it here. Okay? Are you ready? On the count of 3, 1, 2, 3, throw it. There it is. Wow, it's red, just like she said. Big hand for her, huh? Wow, Rihanna. You even got the right color. That's pretty awesome. So, Rihanna, I'm going to tell you now for the first time the name of the card that you were merely thinking of, because I saw it, and I wrote something on the back of it. The name of your card, Rihanna, is Plato. The ancient Greek philosopher Plato, the man in a toga, that's the name of your card. Is that not what you were thinking? What were you thinking, Rihanna? What was you were thinking of a number and a suit, I presume. So it was the blank of blank. What was it? The 5 of clubs, she says. That's absolutely correct. That's Plato. Thank you. I'm just kidding. You don't. Let me show you. Every single card in this deck is named after a different philosopher. Come in close, Mr. Cameraman. I want everyone to see this. That's George Berkeley, the great British idealist, 7 of diamonds. Got me? And here, come a little closer. And look. This one is Aristotle. That's the 3 of clubs, Aristotle, okay? And then we've got, what's that say? Einstein is the ace of clubs. And Georg Hegel is the 5 of diamonds. But you said yours was the 5 of clubs. Is that right? All right, Jack of clubs is Ayn Rand, who totally counts. I don't care what anyone says. All right. Epictetus, 9 of diamonds. You guys get the point? Every single card is a different name on the back, and all of the names are famous philosophers. But Rihanna here, she chose the 5 of clubs. She could have had anything. Let's go through and find the 5 of clubs together, shall we? And you're the ambassador of the audience, so you shout really loud as soon as you see it, okay? 5 of clubs. Let's see, keeping on. It's always buried somewhere far into the middle. Nobody ever picks the card right on the face. Here we go. The 5 of clubs, everybody. Mr. Cameraman, you can see it? Rihanna, you can see it? What did I tell you was the name of your card before you said it out loud? She said Plato. Folks, there's only one 5 of clubs in this deck, and there is only one Plato in the history of history. A big hand for Rihanna as she makes her way back. Thank you, Rihanna. You've done wonderful. Thank you. So, a few remarks on that before I go. Something that you need to know. Whenever a miracle is difficult to learn, a good performer practices until it looks easy. And whenever a miracle is easy to perform, an excellent performer, me, practices until it looks hard. That's what I just did. I just pulled a Houdini. Maybe you should do the same. Thank you very much.